Hi, I'm Allison from Slideform, and today I want to talk about how to get data from a Tableau dashboard over into a Google Sheet or an Excel file so you can further analyze and examine the data. Now, a lot of us don't have a license for Tableau editors, or maybe our data team controls that tightly, but we want to work with the data and we want to get our hands on the raw data behind some of these dashboards. Maybe you need to set up a recurring data export so that others on your team can use the data in a more easy to use, user friendly spreadsheet format. Well, Slideform offers a really easy way to do that, and that is through our data integration between Google Sheets and Tableau. So for example, I'm using the Superstore dataset from Tableau. It's one of their demonstration projects. If we wanted to get the data behind this bar chart at the top of the screen over into a Google Sheet, I'll show you how. So first we want to set up a data integration between Tableau and Slideform. Slideform is a standalone third-party application that's really based around exporting data from dashboards into presentations, documents, and spreadsheets. So what you would do is go to data sources and set up a new data source here, and I'll show you what that Tableau data source looks like inside of Slideform. Once the integration is set up, Slideform captures all of the data from that dashboard. For example, just take a look at the customers worksheet, and you can see all of the data. Each of the individual charts has been captured. Now, in addition to these pictures of the charts, we also capture all of the data behind them. So you can export that into any format that you want, whether it's a presentation, a document, Word file, or a spreadsheet. So to export the data into a spreadsheet, we need to create what's called a template, and that is a just a placeholder sheet that's going to be the layout for how to receive that data from the dashboard. So, for example, in my Tableau dashboard, I have different regions, and maybe I just wanted to export the data for two of the regions, not all of the regions. And this might be kind of hard to do if you just run a raw data export out of Tableau, but with Slideform, you can easily filter the data before you export it. So in this example, I'm going to fill up the first four columns with data from the West region, and then skip a column, and I'm going to fill up the next four columns with data from the Central region. You can have them both in one sheet, like I have in sheet one, or you could move the placeholder for Central over to a different sheet, and it would be perfectly fine. The main thing that's critical here is that we have to have a placeholder, which is represented by these curly braces, then the word data, colon, and then a name for the placeholder. And that is enclosed in curly braces to identify that this is where we're going to dump that data into the spreadsheet. Then we go back into Slideform. Now that we have this template, we need to upload it as a new project. And we can either select our file from Google Drive, or you can upload an Excel file or select a file from OneDrive if you want your output to be in Excel. Now, once that project is set up, it's going to look like this. And we have basically a blank spreadsheet here, and we have these three buttons. Generate is what you're going to do to create the output once everything is set up, and configure data is what you're going to do next to set up the mapping from the dashboard into that spreadsheet. So let's click configure data, and you'll see there's a bunch of options at the top that you can configure this output. For example, if you wanted to set a file name for the output, or maybe if it's a Google Sheet, you want it to overwrite the data every day or every week, you can do that in here in Slideform. Now for each of those placeholders that we have in the sheet, we're going to define exactly which data should fill it. So for this one from the West region, we're going to pull the data from our Tableau example dashboard, and we're going to find the customer worksheet, and we're going to get the data for the customer overview. The customer overview, by the way, is just this set of blue horizontal bar charts across the top of the page. Then once we have that data set identified, we're going to be able to select which columns we want to show. You don't have to export all the columns because sometimes there's an awful lot in the Tableau dashboard that's irrelevant data. We can sort this output, which is very handy, and critically, we can also filter it. So I'm only going to filter down to the West region. Now, if I don't want to have a super long data sheet, maybe I already know how many data rows I'm interested in, I can also limit the number of output rows to any number that you wish. So then we just repeat this process again for the central region. So we can set up the exact same data set going into it, but the final filter is going to be set to central. Now, once we save this, we have our three basic ingredients for an automation in slide form. We have our data integration, we have a template, and we have a data mapping that matches up the data set to the template. So the only thing left to do is click generate, and this is going to produce, first of all, a preview. But if you want to skip the preview, you can jump straight to Google Sheets, or you can jump straight to exporting to Excel. Here's the preview of what we're going to see in the output. Now, once you've gone ahead and run that, you'll be able to see your output available under all downloads. So I chose a Google Sheet output for mine, and I'm going to go ahead and open that up right now. And you'll be able to see that the first row has just that header that I put in. The second row contains the header from the data source, from Tableau itself, to identify what each of these four columns are. And finally, we have the actual data for the West region and for the Central region laid out exactly how I wanted. It's sorted by date, and it has the four columns that I'm interested in. So I could set up a schedule to run this every week and export it to the spreadsheet of your choice, or we could set up a schedule to overwrite this same data sheet every day or every week and have always the latest data in our spreadsheet. So if you are looking to get data out of Tableau for further analysis, look no further than Slideform and come and check us out over at slideform.co. Thanks.